And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome out to Louisiana Christian University. I am Doug Gann, 446 Sports, set to bring you the ACEL 8-Man Football Championship, our second year in a row to bring you this, and couldn't be more delighted. The move over to Louisiana Christian University is an exciting one, and joining me briefly for pregame is Executive Director Sandy Marrow. And Sandy, what a day it's been, huh?
It has been a fantastic day. We started off over in Pineville High School with our volleyball state championship games. Had 4 fantastic games today.
Look, you told me beforehand that girls' Division I varsity championship was going to be a great one to see. Indeed, it was.
It was an excellent contest. As we said before, the forces win, but CHA for certain gave them a run for their money today.
How about the Flame coach, Hawthorne, the girls and boys coach of the year? Phenomenal job.
Absolutely. I tell you, Coach Jared has brought that team. He has built that team, been working with them for several years now, and has done a phenomenal job. And he just started the boys team a couple years ago, and you see how well they're doing.
Oh, incredible. They are. But we make the move over, as you do, into the football realm of it. 8-man football going on. It is John Paul the Great Academy, the Guardians, and the Southwest Louisiana Knights. And we've seen Southwest Louisiana Knights in the championship almost every time that you guys come to town in JV or varsity, or in one way or another, they're always there. So it should be a great matchup.
It absolutely will be a great matchup tonight. We can't wait for this. And you're right, Southwest is one of our largest organizations, participating in pretty much every sport ACEL offers.
Well, we thank you for taking time. We're going to get over to the national anthem and the invocation, and we hope to check in with you a little bit later. But wanted to grab you, much to your chagrin, before things got kicked off. But continued kudos for what you're doing, and we appreciate you here in Central Louisiana and in Pineville here, and with your great organization that you have.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doug.
There you go. And an opportunity to visit with Sandra Marrow. She is the executive director here. Chuck gets things going here momentarily. And this is one of the things that you see is that the rosters are small, Chuck. Everything is shortened, and man, it's great to see, though, the effort and that these kids put out. If you've not seen 8-man football, if you're just watching it now for the first time joining us, you're in for a treat tonight. Captains getting ready to go. You'll see the Southwest Louisiana Knights in their normal navy and orange. They have the white shirts on. John Paul the Great, the Crusaders, have their white and navy shirts with that navy, that gray type of number on their captains. For John Paul the Great Academy, number 8, that is Bobby Odenay Jr., also number 55. You normally see him in number 12, but Anthony Salvatierra dons number 55 tonight.
Yes, and got a little break here. I'm going to tell you, you're talking about everything being shortened. Even the quarters are shorter than what we normally, in our normal high school broadcast that we do. We do a 12-minute quarters, but here for ACEL, it's a 10-minute quarter. So not to say that the competition's any less, by no means, because out here, even there's a fewer people on the field, it is still stiff competition.
Indeed it is. This is going to be a lot of fun. And this for the ACEL State Championship. We're going to turn it over now, we believe, to our PA announcer. Did we get that set up, Chuck, where we're able to do that?
No.
No. All right.
Hang on, I can make it happen in just a second.
Indeed he can. I'm going to pull that down momentarily. And getting ready, and you hear the PA announcer, Rich Dupree, here going over the starters into this one, or the lineups in this one, and that's one thing everybody gets to come out and take part in this, and what a function it is. Finished up a great day of volleyball. We have interviews with a couple of with the coaches in tonight's contest. Morgan Hines, of course, the head coach for the Knights of Southwest Louisiana, and Barrett Richard, commander of the Guardians, John Paul the Great Academy.
Number 23, Jacques Fontenot. Number 25, Cameron Carey. Number 33, Luke Manuel. Number 49, Caden Deku. Number 52, John Ronkers. Number 54, Joe Gogola. Number 88, Ethan Brown. Number 58, Holden Hoval. Number 65, Joseph Richard. Number 70, Silas Lanyo. Number 71, Thor Stewart. Number 72, Micah Thomas. Number 73, Jacques Odene. Number 74, Peter Kramer. Number 80, Thomas Knock. Number 82, Riley Lorman. Number 86, Ben Poche. And number 88, Dominique Pagan. That is your roster, and your head coach is Barrett Richard.
There you go, Chuck. As he's zooming in, you'll check out the starters. We gave you the ones for the Guardians. For the Knights, Andrew Hoffpower is there. Trying to get a sign on the other two. Is number 7. I believe Chuck is number 3, Andrew Hannon. And number
55, Anthony Salvatierra. Your captains for the Knights. Number 8, Andrew Hoffpower. Number 3, Andrew Hannon.
there you get a good look in at the coin toss. Very familiar crew to what is down there. They call a lot out of them, and that's number 11 is Luke Pickle as well. Luke had a tremendous game in the game that we saw him play last year. Knights have won the toss and have elected to receive. So for those that are new to 8-man football, well, we're excited to have you here. We're going to do our invocation and our national anthem, so we want you to stay tuned for that as well. We'll try to put it over. Hold on where you're at and enjoy the sights and sounds of the pregame here at Louisiana Christian University.
For our invocation, join me as we pray. Father, we're so thankful for this day. What a beautiful day that you've given us. Already a great day that we've enjoyed, ACEL championship sports, and tonight we cap it off with our football state championship. We thank you for the traveling grace, Father, that's brought us to this place. We pray for that same traveling grace when we depart in a couple of hours. Help us to play injury-free with the utmost sportsmanship and know that we are all winners when we leave here today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Now join with me as you face toward the left end zone, toward our flag, as Mary Kate Kramer, a senior from John Paul the Great Academy, leads us in our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave
what a tremendous rendition of our national anthem. Tremendous job that was done there. And if that doesn't get you ready for a little bit of football, I just don't know what does. Doug Gann alongside of Chuck Perkins getting ready to bring you for the second year in a row the ACEL 8-man state championship. And here we go. 10-minute quarters. You'll see the Wallace Eye Associates clock up at the top. Not sure if that will, if that is going to run. If Chuck's going to try to venture out, he just might tonight.
Very good.
There you go.
I will give it a shot.
Guardians and the Night Guardians are the home team in this one. The Knights out of Southwest Louisiana, the Lake Charles area, won the toss and have elected to receive. Back deep to receive for the Knights. Chuck will zoom in just a bit back there, and we'll get an idea. There we go. Chuck does tremendous work for us here.
If we can get him turned just a little bit.
48, Noah Augustine, deep to receive, sits at his own 15-yard line, ready to go. And here we go. That's an onside kick. The kicker looking to recover it himself, unable to get to it. That was 55. 55 is Anthony Salvatierra, unable to get it, but just a beautiful onside kick, Chuck, and we're underway.
We are indeed, Douglas. Or Dougie.
One of those. Doug is, yeah. So this officiating crew out of the MAIS, also that Louisiana Independent Officials Association, and coming up ready to go to work is this Southwest Knights team. Coming in motion there, that is Augustine. Little of a misdirection, but big-time play right up the middle. Great work for that. John Paul the Great, number 8, Bobby Odene Jr. gets the tackle and is like he was in the backfield prior. Andrew Hoffpower will lead the way at quarterback for this Knights team. Crowd subdued here early on. They'll get into it here momentarily. Luke Pickle, we saw, again, these two guys made a big run of it in last year's game. Came up short, but really impressed by the work of Hoffpower and Pickle. This time it's a little swing out of the backfield to Pickle, and he's going to be driven out of bounds at the 48-yard line. It'll be a 2-yard gain. 3rd down and 8.
I'm on try to get my clock running again. I've got to make sure I have control over my scoreboard, so give me just a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you out of there. Just like that, I got the power to mute Chuck through there. If I only had that in volleyball. 3rd down and 10. You take the ball to start things off. You've got to at least get a 1st down. You've got to get things going. But this John Paul the Great Academy team is solid. Hoffpower brings a man in motion. That is Augustine. Switches sides and now shuffles to his right, rolling around now. And going to be getting out of trouble there, and that is actually Hannon that is going to be dropped for a big-time loss. 14 yards on the loss all the way back to the 35-yard line. Have to get to the 42 of John Paul the Great for the 1st down. Bobby Odene Jr. gets that one, and 4th down and a long way to go. Staying out there to punt looks like Hoffpower. And this, if you're the Guardians, this is exactly how you wanted to start this thing off. That ball rolls around. It is picked up, but a low worm burner that is there, and not sure what has happened, coming up and nailing the lineman in the back. So we'll see how they sort things out here. No flag. Looked like they picked that up, but I swore I saw one in there. But the Guardians will take over from the Knights' 42-yard line, just outside the 41, inside the 42. Hurrying in a tight bunch formation. Ball on the ground, but able to fall on it. Sawyer Dean in there at quarterback, pulled away from the center a little bit too quick. So no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. No tackle officially credited. Hurrying to the line of scrimmage. And this is what Coach Hines told us. They're a very disciplined team. Getting under center is Sawyer Dean in that very tight bunch formation. Handoff goes right up the middle, and that's going to go to the house. 30 now, 20-10, and you're not going to get him. Anthony Salvatierra for 6. 42-yard jaunt for Salvatierra. Again, switching from 12 to 55 tonight. The senior running back puts the first one on the board here. And, boy, he got through that initial line, and he was to the house. Dean and that group set to line up to go for 2. He's got Salvatierra in the backfield along with Roncarts. Ronkert steps up into more of an H-back. Salvatierra now watches. They will blow this one dead prior to the snap.
Offsides on the Knights.
Half the distance will move it from the 3 to the 1.5. Early on in this one, 7:41 remaining first quarter, 6-0. Guardians take the lead on that 41-yard run from Salvatierra. Now trying to add the 2-point conversion as Dean gets up under center. Is going to take it himself, go off tackle into the end zone. Salvatierra with the 2-point conversion, and it is 8-0. 8-0. Guardians lead 7-0 in this one, and well, that's just not how you wanted to start if you are the Knights. Conversely, if you are that Guardians team, exactly what you wanted. Started with the onside kick, and then just did not get that, but held a 3 and out. And this Knights team is going to have to find a way to answer this one. Early on, it is 8-0. Guardians with the lead. Chuck, you back with us yet? Not quite yet, boy. I don't know how much you're benefiting from that. Again, graciously thankful to the folks here at Louisiana Christian University. This is going to be what we believe the championship home of ACEL Athletics, and so grateful to see that. This kick again is the onside, and it's going to struggle to get 7 or 8 yards, much less the allotted 10 needed. But the guys just need to. So I'm not understanding. You just need to get out of the way of that one. But falling on it underneath, and that's just a good way to lose the ball. Andrew Hoffpower just waited, and fell on it, and would have been better served just to let that one go. .741 we go here in the first. 48-yard line is where this drive starts. Now we'll see what the Knights as they come with 3 receivers to the near side. A little bit of a play action there, but quickly up the middle. And here is going to be a penalty from the far sideline that comes in. And they'll work that out and get what that is. Going to see if we can get what this is. Holding against the offense. The Knights get that penalty, going to be marked off from the line of scrimmage there, and will be getting back on the Knights sideline. That's side of the field. You need to go forward rather than backwards, and that's not how you want to start your second drive. This pushes the Knights back to their own 30, I guess between the 38 and the 39-yard line. One receiver to the far side, kind of an I formation there out of the gun. Motion man comes in and settles in as a blocking back, and he's going to get the ball right up the middle, trying to get to the outside, breaking a couple of tackles, only going to be a 2 or 3 yard gain for Augustine. And Hannon in there at quarterback. Now goes to the sideline to get with Coach Hines and get the signal there. Second down, and I guess we'll give it 22 following that 3-yard pickup. 7:05 here to go in the first. John Paul, the great, 8-0 on this one. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. This is now the second possession for the Knights. Snap is back. Hannon's got it. He's going over the top. Got a man wide open. That ball is good to the 30, now 20. They won't get him. 10-5. And touchdown. Luke Pickle from Hannon. That is how you come back and answer that big 41-yard strike. You go downfield to your man, Luke Pickle. Big time there, 8-6. And now we'll step in and try for the 2-point conversion to tie this things up with the Knights. Goodness gracious, 2 explosive plays in this one early on. That one, got to believe he was measured 61 yards roughly on that one. Hannon in the shotgun now. Back to pass. He's rolling to the near side, looking and overshooting the intended receiver. 8-6 is where we'll have it. 6:42 to go in the first.
With this timeout on the field, it is John Paul the Great. 8.
Timeout is taken on the field. We're going to keep it right here. Swing that camera back around. Chuck doing triple duty as well, as usual. 8-6. Knights answer the big touchdown, but unable to get the 2-point conversion there. We'll get it updated here for you.
Again, a big thank you to our sponsors tonight. Of course, Louisiana Christian University.
Clock is at 6:42, so it is not running.
Providing us the use of Wildcat Field, providing concessions, helping us with our chain crew and security. Big thank you to them. Also a big thank you to Christian Challenge Worship Center here in Pineville. It's where we host our ACEL state meetings. They also help provide
6:42 to go. First quarter of play. 2 big strikes there. One on the running game from the Guardians, and answering right back were the Knights. Set to put a foot into this one, and does. And will go out of bounds. Kickoff does go out of bounds. Got to focus on that official on that far side, Chuck, if you get a minute. Sometime throughout this one. The other side, yeah, we'll get back to that. You know, they don't like you to call out officials' names on here, but, yeah, that's my oldest son down there. That's right. So there you have it. I can neither make any yays or nays on the calling tonight. He told me that I couldn't criticize the officials, which we don't do anyway, short of maybe the clock operator. We'll get him. That's safe up here. First down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Back under center in that tight bunch formation. Go the Guardians. Pressure from the outside, but the ball is right up the middle. And a good job of covering that by the interior line. First one there, number 67. That was Levi Long.
carry by number 55, Anthony Salvatierra.
Again, Salvatierra gets that carry. If you're new to this, he is normally number 12 is what was turned into as 55 on the night. He had the 41-yard touchdown run, 6-11 and counting. Second down and 8 will give it from the 42-yard line. Again, it will go to the near side to Salvatierra, and you see as Salvatierra goes, so goes the Guardians early on in this one. And coming up a little bit limping on that one as he takes himself out of the game. That will bring in Sam LeBlanc to replace Salvatierra, and he's going to go check in with the trainers. Third down and 4 from the 41-yard line. Got to get out to the 45. 5:32 and counting here in the first. 8-6. You see that courtesy of your Wallace Eye Associates scoreboard there at the bottom of the screen today. Not going to get the first down. getting dangerously close to it. 4th down and 1. We'll see what the Guardians have in mind. I've got to believe with the running game and the confidence that these Guardians have, they're going to come out there and try to get it. This will be a big early test for that interior line of the Knights. See them along that line. 44, Elijah Keith is down there. Levi Long is on that offensive line, or that defensive line. A lot of guys going both ways on these smaller rosters. Hustling to the line go the Guardians. That is Sawyer Dean. Gives it to the first man through. Busting through the line will get into Knights territory. And that is number 52, John Ronkerts. John Ronkerts gets there. I guess the backside of the football rests on the 50-yard line. So just past the 50 into Knights territory. Second time that they've been there this evening. This 10-minute quarter rapidly winding down. 4:21 remaining here in the first. Dean back under center in that tight formation. Dean's going to take it himself off to the side. Ball comes onto the ground, and they're calling him down, whistling him down back at the 47-yard line. Good job floating in there and trying to strip that ball out. Was that defense very aggressive and hungry defense from the Knights. They bunch in. You've got everybody within about 3 yards of the football in this formation. Getting set. Dean's going to take it. He's going to run the option. Pitches it behind number 10, Sam LeBlanc. But LeBlanc does a great job of corralling that one and bringing it in and getting down to the 42-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd down and short once again. 3:31 to go here.
I'll make the adjustment
in the
on
first.
clock.
Yeah, Chuck will keep that updated. 8-6, Guardians have the lead, and they're looking to add to it. The only difference here is the missed 2-point PAT from a possession ago. 3rd down and 2, Dean under center. False start whistled against the Guardians. That'll back them up 5 and go from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 7. I want to thank Christian Challenge Worship Center for bringing up the pizza tonight. Nathan Martin brought that up, and big fan of Nathan. He did our volleyball last night, so very grateful for that. 3rd down now and 7, a long 7, maybe a short 8, up to the 47-yard line go the Guardians. Handoff off to the right side, Dean, and he is coming into your screen, and Dean's going to go untouched to the 10-5 to the end zone. Touchdown, Guardians, 47 yards. That is the quarterback keeper to Dean. And Sawyer Dean gets that one, and you see him on your screen there. I promise you do. Chuck's got it back there. And 14 now to 6 with the PAT pending. Explosive run. We've seen 2 big plays, 47 yards and 41 yards on the touchdown runs for the Guardians here early on. And they lead this one 14-6, 3:21 remaining in the first. Dean's got that group back up there. Sawyer Dean, the junior quarterback. Got LeBlanc in the backfield with him, but Dean's going to keep it himself and get all 8 of the points there. Sawyer Dean on the keeper goes the other way. Now 16-6, 3:21 remaining here. Winner of this will be the 8-man ACEL state champion. And what a night it is for football here at Louisiana Christian University. Facilities here certainly great in this one, and look forward to many years of partnering with all of these groups between the college, between ACEL, and of course the folks here at 446 Sports. I'm Doug Gann alongside of Chuck Perkins, bringing you this football. We've seen 2 onside kicks from this Guardians team. We'll see if they continue. A little bit of John Bachman Sr., Andy Boone work going on there for those of you scoring at home.
Well, I thought I had a
little ambiance, Mike, but not working.
Not yet. I got the wrong one.
Onside kick again, and will fall on it this time. So the kicker does a good job of trying to shield off the Knights players, but Bobby Odenay comes up and lays on that one and recovers it, and that's going to, again, give the ball to the Knights in Guardian territory. And the last time the Knights had the ball, it was a 57-yard touchdown pass from Hannon to Pickle. Handed back in there at quarterback from the shotgun. Much different look at an offensive scheme than the Guardians have. That one is right up the middle. Looked like Noah Augustine on that carry. We'll have to see, Noah, is that 40? Yeah, that's Augustine that carries it. Augustine sits in the backfield. He and Pickle rotate a little bit back there.
I'll try it halftime.
Out to the near side of Stahlsteimer. He is the lone receiver to the near side. One to the top. Hannon calls for the ball. It's a low snap, but it's that inside handoff trying to get there. Got to cut and go back the other way. Scrambling around, and that was blown up from the start. Pickle really didn't have an opportunity at it. 2.5 remaining in the first quarter. 16-6. 10-point lead for John Paul the Great. And defensively, they pursue probably as well as we've seen.
48-yard line. It'll be third down and 10.
Third down and 10. They get him back to the original line of scrimmage. Have to get to the 38. Got to believe down here with the success that the Guardians have had at running the football, you've got to keep up with them in scoring. You can't play this when you keep it close. Going out in motion now. Here comes Hannon. Going to step up. Looks for the corner and just dumps this one off and gets hammered out of bounds there. And that will bring up fourth down. Again, we talked earlier about the pursuit of this defense from John Paul the Great, and they certainly come at you with relentless pressure from all facets of the defense. 1:37 remaining here in the first. 16-6, 2 touchdowns, 2 long touchdown runs, and 2-point conversions for John Paul the Great. Southwest Louisiana scored on that big touchdown pass. 4th and 10, so the Knights will elect to kick it away.
In the backfield to punt the ball away, Andrew Hoffbauer.
Hoffbauer stands back at his 40-yard line, corrals this one, gets a foot into it, and that will roll it down the middle of the field. Trying to kill this one inside the 10, now the 5. Great punt will roll down just inside the 5 to the 4. Hoffbauer gets that one. Give him 47 yards for that one.
Is where the Guardians will take over. First down.
Guardians with their back against their own end zone. First time they've not started out near the midfield area. We'll see what they're able to do here. Chuck, you back with us?
I am back with you. I'm talking with, or texting with, Dr. Young here from LCU, and he's trying to help me out to get a external feed in so I could get bring the PA Rich Dupree in as well.
I got you. Minute 28 to go here in the first. 16-6. John Paul the Great scored on both of their possessions that they've had. There goes Dean again, trying to break free. If he does, he'll go, but no, brought down at the 16-yard line. And depending on where they mark it, may be close enough for a first down. Indeed, they do move the sticks.
First down, run.
Dean picks up just a little bit over 10, gets the first down. The ball is out, rests just outside the 15, in between the 15 and the 16, nose of the football there on the 16-yard line. A lot of turf in front of them here. You see the soccer markings. They use this for soccer and football here at Louisiana Christian University. Under a minute remaining in the first. Still haven't seen Salvatierra after he went out limping. Dean will run the option to the near side. A late pitch, but LeBlanc has it and is spun around and out of bounds at the 20. They'll give him the 27 and back-to-back runs and back-to-back first downs for the Guardians. 27-yard line, first down and 10. Two big first down runs back-to-back for the Guardians, and they are showing no signs of slowing up in running the football. Beautiful night. Started with some rain this morning and overnight creeped its way in, but nothing but beautiful skies out in Pineville today. There's that bunch tight formation that we expect from John Paul the Great, and just running over people is big number 52. That, of course, is John Rockers.
John Rockers on the carry. Picks up 4.
Now under 30 seconds to go here in the first. Dean not getting back into the huddle, and that's going to wrap up things in the first. Been an explosive first quarter. 3 big plays. 2 of those, though, by John Paul the Great. They lead it 16-6 after first. We'll be back right after this.
What?
We'll be back when the second quarter starts. No commercial breaks tonight. We're going to leave it right here.
You could also play some music over there if you wanted to.
I could if I could find it.
The last slide, push it up.
Back we go to start things off in the second quarter, and another run at it. Just continuing to churn out first downs is that Guardians offense.
First down on the quarterback run by Sawyer Dean. Across the 40 to the 41. First and 10.
First and 10 for the Guardians. Great control. We'll get the clock worked out. We have moved into the second quarter here. Trying to get the stop in the backfield. Now getting around to the outside. And the 2-point conversion earlier was good, so it is 16-6. Another first down, and just continuing to grind up yardage on the field. This Guardians running attack is so solid. So the only ambiance we're going to have is just
us,
ourselves.
Put some music background.
Could do that. Hustling to the line of scrimmage. Just such a fundamentally sound team are the Guardians. Dean surveys the situation. False start looked like. This one will net just 5, but it looked like Sawyer Dean picks up 5 on the play, that interior line, and getting gassed a little bit there defensively as the hard running is paying dividends early. Coach Barrett Richard and that number 1 ranked John Paul the Great Academy Guardians just flexing some muscle on their running game. 2nd down and 5. 8:07 until the break. 16-6. Dean LeBlanc in the backfield with him. Looks at the option now. Will keep it and cut and go back up the middle. Spinning around. He's out to the 30, now 20. 10-5. Dean, touchdown.
It's a 42-yard run by the quarterback.
42 yards officially on that one, and that puts him certainly over 100 yards rushing and a couple of touchdowns in this one. And Sawyer Dean working early on player of the game honors in this one as he has been in command. You know, we saw the running of Salvatierra before he went out, but now it's been all Sawyer Dean. Runs of 47 and 41 on the touchdowns for Sawyer Dean. A lot of folks back watching this one all around our great state as part of the ACEL 8-man football championship. They are watching John Paul the Great out to a very solid beginning. Shifting up, lining up for 2. Dean took it himself the last time on his touchdown. He gets under center, not as bunched. Off the right side, ball goes up in the air. It's going to go down, so the try will be no good. 22-6 is where the score stands with 7:47. And we'll see if things stay the same, if that group, if they look, and this is one of those teams, they just continue to try to steal possessions. Got to get a little more. The ball's got to go 10 yards on that onside kick. $7:47 until halftime, and John Paul the Great seems to be running the football the way that John Paul the Great wants to run the football, and the Guardians doing great work. They'll tee this one off from the 40. The all 3 kicks have not made it to the 50 as they've attempted the onside kick. We'll see if that indeed continues. We expect that it will. This one now goes a little bit deep. Well, much deeper. Will go out of bounds at the 22-yard line, and that's where the kick out of bounds penalty will come in.
Kick goes out of bounds.
Hey, spot the flag on the 24. He tossed it and his flag landed on the 22. That's pretty neat.
Ball comes out at the 35 on the kickoff out of bounds. 22-6, and this is a point, just a couple of touchdowns behind and 2-point conversions. But this is one of those that Hannon and that group really need to get going with on this particular drive. 22-6. You see it on our Wallace High Associates scoreboard down at the bottom of your screen next to that beautiful ACEL logo that is there. Doug Gann alongside of Chuck Perkins, 446 Sports, bringing you tonight's action. In motion and cutting upfield, Hannon will run the option, looking to pitch, but nobody was coming up and playing him. Couple of differences that we've seen Hannon and Dean run on the option. Hannon was a little hesitant when he came up there, and Dean is looking to run the football and pitch later. It looked like Hannon was wanting to pitch that one initially. 7:20 and counting until halftime. This has been all ground game, save for the one 60-yard touchdown pass from Hannon to Pickle. Shotgun is there, one lone receiver, man in motion, comes across and settles in as sort of an H-back. They'll dump that one backwards lateral, but is caught and driven out of bounds. That's Pickle that's got it.
Looks like they're marking him around the 44, Doug.
If it's the 44, he's probably a yard shy of the first down.
Will be 1 yard shy of the first. It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 44 for the Knights of Southwest Louisiana.
3rd down and 1, 44-yard line. got to get to the 45 as the ball was placed at the 35. So just the nose of the football has to touch the 45-yard line for it to get to be the first down. 6:51 now and counting. Timeout will be whistled by the Guardians. They take the timeout and will keep it right here with them and give you an opportunity to look over the field. You see the turf, the LC logo there, of course, a couple of seasons ago picked up the U. They are Louisiana Christian University, and that'll get updated, we believe, when the new turf comes around. You get an opportunity to look around the field there.
Again, we say thank you to some of our great sponsors like Louisiana Christian University.
There you see the cheerleaders from John Paul the Great. Rousing rendition of the national anthem by that young lady that is a cheerleader for John Paul the Great. A lot to cheer about if you're a Guardians fan tonight. Their defense is facing a 3rd down and 1. There you see Sandra Romero. She is the executive director of ACEL Athletics. And look, she had no intent, no desire to do a little pregame interview. And she kept saying no, and I kept saying yes. And, well, she is a great interview. The passion she has for this company is phenomenal. This family. Yes. 3rd down and 1. Back in the shotgun is hand, and he's going to keep it himself, but he's going to get nothing and just a tremendous defensive work. Looks like he was slow to get up. But now you go from 3rd and 1 to 4th and 5.
On the keeper, down behind the line of scrimmage.
Look, I am very as impressed with the running game of John Paul the Great that I am. I'm equally as impressed because I know the work that Hoffpower and Hannon and Pickle can do. We saw that last year in the games that we saw. But they have been shut down. And we talked to Coach Morgan Hines before the game for the Knights. And as they will go for it here, not wanting to get any further behind. See what they're calling delay a game. And it's not kept on because they don't have a play clock, so it'll be kept by the official in the back. He'll put a hand up when there's 10 seconds to go and then count it down from there. Timeout has been called on the field. Timeout by the Knights, and you got to think that perhaps they'll rethink going forward here.
Backed them up another 5, so yeah.
They did. It'd be 4th and 10. Look, we'll go back and talk about these groups and just the passion that they have. And in the interviews that we did prior to the game, both of the coaches, we asked them, Chuck, what do you do to keep your kids calm and they're coming into a state championship game like this? They said, look, we just tell them that it's just another game. Don't think of it. Right. Don't get caught up in all the pomp and circumstance, but get out there and just play your type of game.
Yes, it's like you do you, boo kind of thing. I mean, we're going to play our game regardless, and that's what we are going to do. If they best this on us being us, then they got the best of us. They're the better team. But we've got to do what we do.
That's exactly right. See what they're thinking about it, Coach Hines and that group. And now at 4th and 10, Chuck, down at the 30, just outside the 35-yard line. I got to think that it's difficult to turn the ball over down here if you do it on downs. Might want to think about punting it. They do not come back out. Hannon is there in the backfield with Augustine. 2 receivers to the near side. Need to get to the 45-yard line. Rolling, now going over the top. Pickles open again, and he's got it. Going to be brought down at the 47-yard line. Give him they'll give him the 47. But that is a big one. And look, you try to get back in this one. I've got to believe Hannon and Pickle have got to be the guys that are going to do it. As heavy as that Guardians team relies on Dean carrying the football, and man, the arm of Hannon to Pickle, that pass catching duo needs to be opened up here. First down and 10 from the 48-yard line, 47 of the Guardians. 5:21 until the break. Handed from the shotguns, got it. Quick pass to the near side, but there is that defense. Again, that is number 10. And Sam LeBlanc, another one of those two-way players. We saw him come in at running back when Salvatierra went out with that little injury that he had. Looked like an ankle injury. And have not seen Salvatierra in the game since then. In fact, he is resting on the bench. So our prayers and thoughts with that young man as he had that explosive run, ran the ball again, and then came out hobbling just a bit. Following that loss and that tackle by LeBlanc, it is second down and 12 from midfield. The nose of the football rests on the Knights side of the 50. Snap is back to Hannon. He's got it rolling now to his left. Here comes the pressure. Going to dump that one off, and had to, because coming right in his face was the big man, number 8, Bobby Odenay Jr. And when you're getting pressured like that, you've got to be careful, because that's one of those that you could end up throwing the ball off your back foot. And that could be ugly the other way. 22-6, trying to get something going before the break, are the Knights of Southwest Louisiana, that Lake Charles area. The moving left to right towards that the hill that the Wildcats run over when they get ready to come out there towards English Village, moving left to right from the Pineville area towards Alexandria, if you're familiar with the way the expressway runs here. Third down and 12. Snap is back. Hannon's got it rolling now to the near side, going up and over the top, looking for his favorite target, and that is Pickle. And back there defensively.
Intended for number 11, Luke Pickle. Defended by number 10, Sam LeBlanc.
Sam LeBlanc back there again. And as good as Pickle has been offensively, Sam LeBlanc has been right there with him. Sam LeBlanc, the senior, and a lot of seniors on this squad. We talked to Coach Hines earlier, and he said they graduated a lot of guys out of there, and it's a younger team. But again, you always seem to see these two teams, when there are championships to be played, these two teams are around it here in ACEL Athletics. 4:14 remaining until the break. Fourth down and 12. They'll go for it again. 4 wide receivers set. Hannon got to get his body straightened up, and that one is knocked down. Very smart play just to knock that one down. If he catches it right there, they get it all the way back around the 18 or 19. By knocking it down, they'll get it back at midfield.
Downs will give the ball to the Guardians.
That's one of those football IQ type of plays that people talk about, Chuck, and that's a 30-yard difference in field position just by knocking that football down.
Heads-up play they usually talk about and call it in short, heads-up play.
An opportunity now for the Guardians to Belichick one here before we get to the half. Score right before the half, and then they get the ball coming out of the half, and that would really open things up. I think they huddled a little further from the ball than they normally do, but they still sprint out, had to turn left and get there. Dean's got his troops down, and that'll come to the near side. Good work defensively by number 45. That is Scott Stolzheimer. Back carrying the football once again, number 52. That is John Ronkers. Ronkers loses a yard.
They do huddle up almost 10 yards off the ball, about 8 yards off the ball.
Well, and the last time they were over to the left, I think at the other hash, and had to run and turn and come take a left. And 3:33 to go now until halftime. You see that on your Wallace Eye Associates scoreboard at the bottom. Dean just going to take things off right tackle himself. We'll get just a couple. That's going to be 3rd down and 8. best defense that we've seen out of the Knights here in the first half. Dean comes to the sideline to get the signal. Three minutes remaining until halftime. Coming up at halftime, we'll step away for just a minute. They'll take their break and be back at it.
And you want to try to get those interviews on? Or?
3rd down and 8. Yes, some that we had pregame. We'll talk to a couple of the coaches. Handoff goes up the middle. That is LeBlanc getting to the outside, continuing to go, trying to knock the ball away. But LeBlanc getting down there for the first down, brought down by Pickle. So those two becoming very familiar with each other, guarding and tackling each other from side to side. You know, in that interview, we talked to Coach Hines. He said that John Paul the Great had beaten them both times this year. And he said they're just a good ball club, and we're seeing that certainly tonight on display here in the first half. From the 26 go the Guardians to 12 and counting, but they're always just one play away from finding the end zone. There goes LeBlanc. He's going to bang his way forward down to the 22.
LeBlanc again, this time on the carry inside the 25 to the 22.
Trying not to give the Knights any time left in this half. But I'm telling you, it's been as dominant a first half as you'll find, as the ground game and the defense have been so solid for this Guardian ball club. Lining up now, Dean under center. Running the option again. And that's, Chuck, what we talked about earlier, that Dean is a run first, pitch second type of quarterback. Yes. And when Hannon ran the option, he was looking to pitch first and then run. But the want to, I guess, for lack of a better word, of Sawyer Dean, he wants to run the ball. He wants to keep it because he knows he's just a couple of broken tackles away from getting to the end zone.
17.
Nearing that 1 minute mark, we are officially now at 60 seconds until the break. LeBlanc in the backfield with Dean. He is there with Ronkers. And that one right up the middle. That is Ronkers down inside the 2 to the 1. They'll mark him just shy of the goal line.
On the carry on the right side, inside the 5.
And Ronkers was looking to be the third different Guardian to run the football into the end zone. You got to pay him off. Let him have another shot at it. Dean's got a couple. Salvatierra had one. And Ronkers was very close to getting his. 48 seconds until halftime. Timeout on the field. Just wanting to make sure, Coach Richard making sure that they have the correct call. Coming up at halftime, we will give you our pregame interviews that we had with Coach Hines and Coach Richard.
They provided, of course, the great coverage of our volleyball state championship games today.
Been a long day at it. 4 volleyball games today. We did the Division I and Division II girls. We did the JV girls, and then we capped it all off with the boys championship.
And again, it's being streamed live on the ACEL.
Coach Jared Hawthorne, the coach of the year in girls volleyball and boys volleyball, and that was great to see. He is with the CHA Flame out of the Monroe area, CHA Northeast, the Flame out of Monroe. Here it is, Southwest Louisiana, the Knights and the Guardians of John Paul the Great. Settling back in now, ready to go. You see Dean. He's got Ronkers and LeBlanc. If Dean doesn't keep it, either one of those backs in the backfield will be the third Guardian to rush for a touchdown today. Instead, Dean's going to get his third rushing touchdown himself. And 28-6.
Quarterback keeper for the touchdown from 1 yard out. Makes it
44.3 to go. Almost stopped it right on time. We'll have to work on their Again, Dean there with LeBlanc and Ronkers in the backfield. Dean rolling out. He does pitch this one. LeBlanc getting strung out to the outside. Steps over a man. But again, PAT is no good. 28-6, 22-point lead. And again, remember that John Paul the Great will attempt the onside kick, we believe. Now, the last one they did, they kicked a little further, went out, and they went out of bounds, so thinking that they'll go back maybe to the onside kick. But starting things off in the second half, they will get the football.
Yes, indeed. So, and we also have a few things going on at halftime. I believe they have some performances by the cheerleaders and whatnot.
We will certainly let you keep an eye on that. We'll carry all of that throughout. We want everybody to get the opportunity to have this. If you're watching this over on YouTube, you found us there. We invite you to like and subscribe that. Hit the notification bell. That way you know anytime that we go live here on 446 Sports. Give us a like and a follow on our Facebook page. We certainly appreciate that. There is that onside kick. This one does go the 10 yards. Bouncing around. Still, ball is loose. And they have it. John Paul the Great's got it back. John Paul the Great will have a couple of shots at it from the 43-yard line is where they will scrimmage. If you are the Knights, you've got to do whatever you can to keep John Paul the Great out of the end zone here. It's 3 scores now. You've got to keep it close as you can. You don't want to give up 2 scores within the last minute and then one come up, or potential for one coming out of the half. Inside handoff now coming on the counter, and there is going to be a holding call that is blown from the back, holding against the offense. 22 points the difference here, and following that holding call. An interesting bit of knowledge, Chuck. In our LHSAA games, 42 points gets you to a running clock, a 42-point lead. Here in ACEL, it is 30 points.
At the third.
30 points once you get into the third.
Once at the third, and then it's a nonstop.
Yeah, you can't get under it and get it to stop back. That's correct. And teams that have the lead try to get there and go to that. It's similar to a run rule in baseball. You're trying to get to that point because whatever you do, now they got to take the right turn and get back to the hash. There you go.
Yes.
Following that holding call, second down and 25. Dean's going to keep it himself, and there goes Dean. He's to the 40, now 30. Looking back, getting chased to the 10. 5 going to be dropped at the 2-yard line. And Pickle never gave up on it. Inside the 2 to the 1-yard line, and nearing a couple of 100 yards in this contest.
He's going to have to rush up there.
Sawyer Dean.
Call a timeout.
Yeah, timeout, and goodness gracious. And Chuck, we mentioned that because that mercy rule type of setup there is that a 2-point a touchdown, a 2-point conversion,
right,
makes it 30 points there, and that shortens up that second half greatly.
Yes, it does. I mean, that'll get you that, like you said. I was looking at it for a minute there thinking the 2-point and 28 was 30, but plus the 6, plus minus their 6, yes, exactly.
You teach drones. You don't teach math, do you?
Well,
I got you.
Never mind.
Back to live action we go. Doug Gann alongside of Chuck Perkins.
As my pastor says, you should always speak the truth, but some truths don't need to be spoken.
No truer words themselves have ever been it. Check us out on YouTube. You can just search 446 Sports. You'll see all of the games. You can go back and look at some of the ACEL things we did last year, see all of the volleyball games that are up from today, all the champions that were claimed, crowned there, and including this one. Ball rests inside the 1-yard line, and Dean has 3 of those touchdowns in the first half. He's got LeBlanc in the backfield with Ronkers. Ronker's more offset in a H-back type formation. Look for them to run that side. LeBlanc's got it.
I think I heard a whistle.
They did. The flag is down to the near side. Offsides. Encroachment, the call. That'll be half the distance, but I don't think you can make it half of a distance from where that ball rests.
They just,
And when you're bunched in like that, you're going to have the opportunity to be offsides at any point because everybody's just so bunched in. Into the end zone.
Right on over.
Touchdown is there, and that is LeBlanc. And now that close 2-point conversion, that was number 10, Sam LeBlanc, that got in there.
They've only made one of their 2-point conversions so far. Is that correct? Or two of them. The first one and the third one, I think.
Dean under center sets his team, gives it back to LeBlanc, and gets nowhere on it. 34-6. So barring something unforeseen, it'll be the third before and after that first possession. But got to figure something out if you're the Knights defense. There is a lot of football remaining. You've got to keep it under that 30-point rule because you cannot take it back out of that.
And because you're going to have to either figure out what you need to get done or, just hold on. Hold on.
Setting it up from the 40 and going, received the onside, or got the onside kick recovery on the last possession, and now will. Got to believe just you kick this one away. I don't think they try that onside kick again here this late. They got the one they were looking for. Just kick it over the head of that front line, and that's indeed what he did. Shows off the leg now, and this one's going to be a little bit of trouble if it doesn't get in the end zone. It gets back there, and that's going to be a touchback. Wow, showing off some leg right there.
Yes.
So it's onside kick, not out of necessity, Chuck. It's a weapon.
Yeah, they're using it as a game changer or like you said, a defensive tool.
Boy, the one touchdown in this one was handed to Luke Pickle. And it was a pretty one. But
yes.
That's been the only amount of offense for the Knights. And it's been all John Paul the Great in this one. Halftime coming up. We'll let you watch whatever is going on out there. Handed back in the shotgun, not content, we don't believe, to sit on this one, looking to get something. Not playing. I appreciate that. Not playing to keep it close. Playing to get back there and win this thing. And overshoots the intended receiver, which, as you might imagine, is Pickle. He is clearly the deep threat for this Knights team. 13.8 remaining until halftime from the 20. And appreciate the Knights going after it, Chuck, and trying to get the points because, again, you're playing for a state championship in this one, and there is no amount of quit in any team that we've seen in ACEL Athletics in the couple of years that we've been around it.
Right. They don't want to show any mercy to these fellas.
Hannon calls for the ball. He's back to pass once again, throwing that inside slant, and he's got it. Pickle trying to get free. 30, now 35. Cuts back to the inside. Well, now 35-30.
He's losing
to the
his
25.
yardage.
He's going backwards and past the first down, but inside it, and that's going to end things for the first half of play. And so 30 to the 35, 35 to the 30 and 25. But that's the kind of player that Pickle is. He's trying to create, knows it's the last play of the half. He's trying to get there. That's going to do the first half for us. We are going to let you watch the sights and sounds. We'll have a couple of interviews for you from pregame, and we'll do all of that as halftime comes up. So don't go anywhere. You're watching ACEL 8-Man Championship Football on 446 Sports.
pretty good as far as I can tell.
As far as you can tell, how are they adapted to this environment, coming on the college campus, getting ready to play in front of, a college type atmosphere?
We try and tell them that it's like any game. It's like practice. We're going to do what we do at practice. We're going to do what we do at any game. Nothing changes, given the situation per se. It's important for young kids because they'll kind of get out of control if you let them.
Scouted a lot on your team this season. Very good program that you got. How do you come out and make sure that you start fast and really set the tone in this game?
I think we, come out and do the things we've been doing. Ask the kids to do something they haven't done.
What do you do to keep them contained in this and not let the size and the enormity of the game get to them?
Same. All week we preached, hey, don't pay attention to what's going on around you. You pay attention to the next play. That's all you worry about.
Well, that's perfect, Coach. Thank you for taking time with us, too. And we'll look to talk to you later.
I appreciate it.
It's going to be a good battle, man. I mean, we've played each other twice so far this year, and they've got us both times. Coach Richard's got them well coached this year. It's the best I've seen them play in my 4 years coaching. And they run their offense and defense like none other, man. They're a machine out there. So we got a hard battle for us, for the next 40 minutes.
Do you buy into that hard to beat a team 3 times in a year?
It's hard to beat a team 1 time in a year is what I buy into, man. I mean, that team across from us is good.
Yeah. You guys always seem to be around when it's championship time. Throughout a variety of sports. Tell me a little bit about that Southwest Louisiana Knights team.
We're young, but we have a lot of talent. We lost 9 seniors last year, so we had a lot of holes to fill. We only returned 2 offensive starters and 2 defensive starters, so it was definitely a rebuild year, but the kids bought in. Have a lot of first-year players playing on offense and defense, and they bought in and learned our system and our way of playing, and it's paid off for us. We've battled a couple of times this year, and the adversity's helped.
How are the kids with playing on this stage, college campus? How are they feeling about that?
Honestly, they're pretty low key right now. We just want to play football, so I think that's their main goal right now. They're focused. They're dialed in. It's football.
There you go.
Football Saturday night, man.
It seems to transcend whether it's 11-man, 8-man, or whatever it is. Coach, good luck tonight. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Doug.
Back to live action we go. We are finishing up halftime here. And, you know, we talk about the family atmosphere again. Well, here, we'll look at those. That is our sponsors here. Of course, the Alexandria Pineville Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, the City of Pineville, Louisiana Christian University, which is the home of ACEL Athletics, and their online video home there at 446 Sports. And we appreciate the group at ACEL Athletics. And every time you look up and down a roster, Chuck, you see family members, you see brothers, and we saw that in that game earlier. Out of the Alexandria team, even a lot of relations in there, and it's generations of people that are taking part in this throughout the years. And we briefly touched on it too. Just great. This officials association that's up here that's calling this one tonight did mention my son's on there. His high school coach actually coaches with him now, and another member off of that state championship team from back in 2017 is up running the clock for us up here. So it's that small school hometown tradition that continues, and it's just showing in a big part of what's going on here. 34-6, John Paul the Great has the lead. They scored a couple of touchdowns in the final minute of the first half and are looking to come out here. Chuck, we alluded to this a little bit earlier in the game. If you get to that 30-point threshold, then the clock runs and it does not stop. It'll stop for a timeout or, those things, but it continues to run. That is their version of, you hate to say a mercy rule, but an opportunity just to get it there. And you cannot come out of those once you're into that point. So we'll see what the Knights have in store if they can come up and play some defense, but it has been that rushing attack of the Guardians of John Paul. And look, there's some official supporters in that one. There's an onside kick going to be picked up at the 49-yard line and brought down. That was number 23 recovering that. And that, Chuck, had an opportunity for one of those to spin out of there. Jacques Fontenot, the freshman, pulls that one out. And the trick to recovering those onside kicks, and we've been around a lot of them through the coaches that we've covered, you've got to come up and attack it, and you can't wait for that football to come back to you because it's like a shortstop, second baseman waiting on the ground ball rather than charging it.
Right, and you can't – I mean, you've got to time it just right, but you can't – you can't play it, wait for the bounce, basically.
Sawyer Dean, you see him there on your screen under center. Gives it to LeBlanc. LeBlanc had a touchdown in that first half. Dean comes over to the near side, gets some insight. And look, we go back to talking about ACEL, Chuck, and one of the things we're going to work on is trying to bring you more than just the championship games on there. Again, finding out a little bit more. We found story after story of coaches and players and coaches that have full-time jobs that come over and do this volunteer. And it's just the great story that is this group, that is the Association of Christian Educators of Louisiana. 2-yard pickup by Dean now, or by LeBlanc. 2nd down and 8 from the 47-yard line. Dean's got it, trying to get to the outside, will be brought down there. Good work defensively on the stop. Dean picks up maybe a yard there on the stop. Was number 44, Elijah Keith. See what halftime adjustments they were made. Just a 10-minute half, and we talked about the 10-minute quarters is what they play here in the 8-man. 3rd down and 8 from the 47, so just a yard pickup there. Dean fakes that. He's trying to get a block to get to the outside, and there goes Sawyer. Sawyer to the 35, now 30. It's a foot race. He and Pickle are off and running, and it looks like they play in a video game trying to swerve around, but Pickle is steady to the challenge and makes the tackle right there. Let me tell you, not a drop of quit in Luke Pickle whatsoever. It would be easy to have given up on that play and let Dean get to the house on that one, but Luke was having none of it.
None at all.
Sawyer Dean, well over 200 yards rushing in this game. He has been the workhorse. Salvatierra went out early in that first and have not seen him back in there. This has been the Sawyer Dean show since then. I do see Salvatierra up on the sideline, has his helmet with him, but looks like he got some heavy tape on that left ankle. First down and 10 from the 13. Handoff goes up the middle. Nothing doing there. That was big number 52 that had that one, John Ronkers. We saw him carry the ball several times in that first half, but it has been all Sawyer Dean in this one. And Chuck, you know, we talk about just a junior, so he'll be back with this program one more year. And, you know, the way that they efficiently run that offense, the way that he runs the ball and looks to get yardage on there, look for this John Paul, the great Academy team, to make another deep run in this thing next year. Expect them to hang in there and hold on, take care of business tonight.
Do they have
handoff as LeBlanc hits the circle button, spins around, and penalty flags fly. Everybody has it. Feel like there's going to be a face mask that will be whistled from the end zone side of it. And it looks like everybody saw that one, Chuck, as 3 flags came flying in, and that's going to put that'll put the Guardians deep inside of the red zone, inside the 5 to the 4 at first and goal.
And they didn't bother moving their huddle after they moved the ball. They just kind of stayed right there.
They're going to run about 15 yards up to it.
Maybe they think it's COVID rule still.
Conditioning is what they're doing, and there they go. Led by number 74, the center, Peter Kramer. And the officials will get together and see what they can work out here. They're putting down
the markers.
Half the distance was what was given, so it's not a first down. It's second down and I guess a couple.
Yeah.
Dean hands the ball off to the first man through. That should be Ronkers, as I see LeBlanc and Dean there. So, yeah, Ronkers is the third down, and ball's got to get to the 2, so third down and a couple.
All inside the 5.
6:31 and counting, 3.5 minutes on this opening drive for the Guardians. Dean gets a signal, and in no hurry to get into the huddle. They will huddle and then run to the line of scrimmage. Dean's going to run that option, and he is a keeper quarterback himself. Gets down into the end zone. Touchdown, Sawyer Dean. Touchdown, Guardians. That sends it to 40-6 in this one. You see the end zone nearest that big American flag that is unfurled, blowing in the breeze there to the right of the Wildcat Field scoreboard there, and you see John Paul the Great Academy 40, Southwest Louisiana 6, and that will put it into the running clock mode. And it has just been a impressive, dominant performance by this Guardians team. There goes Dean rolling to, dare I say, pass the ball. And he's got it. First pass of the night. 2-point conversion is complete to Bobby Odenay Jr. Look, we've talked, Chuck, several times. People have not been around our broadcast here, but we talk an awful lot about football IQ. Yeah. And that young man, Sawyer Dean, has it. I'm going to tell you that. He knows the game.
He does. And you can tell that by he commands on the field and the huddle. You can see apparently there's discipline to do exactly what he's doing, and I'm sure he's following the guidance of his head coach as well. But, that's part of the team. You got to have a leader.
Well, I'll tell you, we were down there, and we talked to Coach Barrett Richard, and he was business as usual without a doubt, and that is certainly what we see out of Sawyer Dean. This is a very business-oriented team. They're just out there taking care of business.
Reminds me of a song.
That kickoff is deep, and look, very impressed with the leg there. Back to the 5-yard line now, 10 and 15, 20, trying to get to the outside. Out of one tackle, into another, spun around into some more, and going to be dropped out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
And the clock will continue to run at this point. Until the officials say no.
Officials timeout on the sideline as there is a player down that is just inside the white portion of it. That's what stopped it, was the officials timeout for the injury. There is a Knights player that is down just inside the out-of-bounds marker. We do not have the camera on it and do not put the camera when there is an injury down there. We will focus and let you know when the player gets up and gets back, but that's one of the things we have here at 446 Sports is we don't focus on that. Great job of sportsmanship. Of course, you see all of the players that have taken a knee. And, again, I can't echo it enough that it is such a great group, a very Christian-driven group here, and that's why we're proud to be part of that. Hopping up and coming out of there on his own, in his own accord there is Scott Stolzheimer, the sophomore for the Knights, and walking off on his own power, not even really showing a limp, and so that's good to see. And that will get the clock, should get it started momentarily. And there, in fact, it does go. Other than timeouts and such, but it's made it 42-6 in this one. Hannon, the handoff there. Been a great day for ACEL Athletics. We crowned 4 champions today and looking to do the 5th. This is a championship Saturday. Had the semifinal games yesterday in a couple of the volleyball games. And then you had a JV, a Division II, a Division I girls, and then the boys. Let me get that for you, Chuck. Oh. 4:46 to go here, third quarter of play.
Nice.
Second down and 7. Hand off again. Hannon gives it off right up the middle and going to be brought down. Good job defensively there. Number 7, Jacob Dean. Augustine on the carry. That is a Southwest Louisiana Knights first down. First down and 10 from the ball. Ball rests just outside the 40. Crowd taken out of this one as it has been all Guardians since early on. The one play was the big touchdown pass to Pickle, and on cue there he gets it back. 10-yard pickup going to be driven out of bounds at the 50 or the 49, about to call it the 51-yard line. Chuck, this is in the Canadian Football League.
Well, that's okay.
3:33 on the clock. You see the Wallace Eye Associates scoreboard. We appreciate the folks at Wallace Eye Associates sponsoring 446 Sports throughout the year.
Hey.
Just inside Guardians territory.
Be on guard when I'm on the mic.
And look, I'm right by the mute button, and I didn't do it. Pickle now going down the same, instead cuts to the outside. It's complete there to the 40, now the 35 and 34. Pickle again moves the chains, and I'm telling you, they had 3 defenders on Pickle that time, and very difficult to stay with that young man.
He'll put you in a pickle, honey.
Hannon comes back in. He goes, they're not a lot of signaling. These players will go and get the call in from the sideline.
I was prompted for that one, by the way.
I don't want to get into it. 2:28 and counting here. It's been a long day.
Yes.
A long day heading from left to right. Go the Knights. Once again, that's Pickle now out of the backfield. Spun around, dropped down at the 31-yard line. 4-yard pickup. Give him 3 officially on it. Oh, can't beat fun at the old ballpark. Sounds and sights of get the game inside the game.
Absolutely.
31-yard line, and this is you want to see those Knights keep on churning along. This one really hasn't been in doubt, Chuck, since that first quarter.
Right.
Early into the second when the Guardians flexed some muscle on it.
Yeah, you could see they took charge and just didn't let up.
Swung around the backfield. That's trouble there. Defensively coming in and making a well of a play was number 52, John Ronkers. We saw him run the ball so well tonight in the backfield with Dean and Salvatierra, but this time he makes a great stop in the backfield. He will get a loss of 4, make it 3rd down and 14. 1 minute remaining in the third.
And Doug, when you say a well of a play, are you talking about the W-E-L-L or the
I'm talking about a big one.
Oh, okay.
A big one.
Well, I mean, wells are deep.
Big one. W-H-A-L-E, well of a play. Pickle again in motion. They'll look to run the option. This time it is Hanson keeping himself, getting to the corner, and another first down out by the soccer goal that is pushed aside. That will be back here in February when the co-ed soccer championships come to town.
Absolutely. Because everything will be, where at?
Louisiana Christian University here in the heart of Pineville, Louisiana. 15 seconds on the clock and counting.
Or less. Our scoreboard's just a smidge bit slower.
Right.
Yeah, that easy for me to say.
Clock expires there, but Hanson goes over the top, and that ball is intercepted. See who comes out of there with it. Now that is number 7. Number 7 is Jacob Dean.
Intercepted by number 7.
Jacob Dean, the freshman, comes out of there with it. And so those Deans doing work offensively and defensively as that's the final play. 42-6.
Injured player on the ground. On the
third quarter of play will change.
42-6. They'll change ends of the field when the player is back up again. They're now down tending to him. 10 minutes of football remain in this one. Back for the fourth quarter. We'll leave it right there on it. And good to see that young man up and walking off. That is number
40-something, I see.
48, it looks like. If that is, it's Augustine, but we'll check till he turns a little bit. Maybe Stallsteimer again in 45, but I'm going to quit guessing.
I'm going with 45.
48 it is.
There it is.
That is Augustine. Augustine's had a big game running the football, carrying it a lot. He's been vital for this Knights team, and that will send everybody back down to the other end of the field. And we'll get ready for the fourth. We'll be back here in just about a minute to take us through the rest of this and get to the championship here of the 8-man ACEL Football Championship 2022-2023.
Little jog by the officials.
Toby Mack cascading through the speakers here at Louisiana Christian University. Had a wide array of music that has been played, even a couple of requests by DJ Dupree, who was down there spinning them on the ones and twos. Yeah. Knights trying to hang on and get something going, but that big pickoff at the end by Dean squashed that, and now Jacob Dean, Sawyer Dean, both contributing there for this John Paul the Great Academy team. You'll see Sawyer back there under center. He's back there with Ronkers and LeBlanc. Again, it has been this tight formation throughout. Handoff goes up the middle. LeBlanc spun around and bulldogged down for the tackle there by number 44. That was Elijah Keith. We've called Keith's name a number of times on there. So the ACEL Athletics group will be back here in February. They'll be on the campus of Louisiana Christian University for another championship. They're here back-to-back weekends. They've got their co-ed soccer and basketball in back-to-back weekends in February.
Wow. I'll try to keep my calendar clear for you there, Doug.
There you go. 9:21 remaining in this one. It has been all Guardians all the time here. And that man is the one that's doing it, Dean. He gets a little bit shaken up on there and immediately goes and taps his helmet, which means get me another guy in here. And was twisting around at the end of it, but probably well suited. So Sawyer Dean, no doubt, player of the game of this one.
There's number 10 going in. Looks like
LeBlanc goes in, but I see for the first time Cameron Gary, number 25,
saw that,
goes in. He is a junior. We'll see if he gets in there and runs at quarterback. Chuck may zoom in just a bit. I see LeBlanc making his way. Yeah, LeBlanc will go under center. Sam LeBlanc now in at quarterback. He keeps it, and as go the quarterbacks, he hangs on to it. Look, these guys for the Guardians, when they get the football in their hand, don't want to give it to anybody. They want to hang on to it themselves.
It's kind of like the last roll at the dinner table at the Gann's house, right?
You're right. There's only two of us back there at the Gann house now, though.
Well,
all the kiddos are. The nest is empty.
You have to watch for the fork in the other hand, though. That'll.
Indeed,
that'll
LeBlanc
make a point.
Underneath center. Goes off tackle to the right now, trying to get to the outside. 30-35 goes LeBlanc, and he is pulled down at the 44-yard line. That is Augustine. Good to see Augustine back in the game. He was shaken up a little earlier. So Salvatierra went out in the first quarter, and now you see Sawyer Dean out, and they're tending to him off to the sideline. 7:17 and counting in this one. Clock continues to run once it got past that 30-point mark. Good for everybody involved, and just adds to that sportsmanship. LeBlanc hit hard in the middle. Right up the middle, like he knew the snap count was in the huddle when that one was called. And that is number 85 that is back there. Chuck, good work by Travis Hines.
Wow.
Travis Hines coming through there.
Blitzing right on through there, huh? Thought it was Christmas. There was blitzing.
Oh, I apologize greatly for this. Look, it was, yeah. Have mercy. The good old days, I got to be that guy to my broadcast partner for a number of years, and I've been paying for it ever since. Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 12. LeBlanc under center. Decides this time to hand it off, and does. Trying to get the ball and strip it away, but unable to do so.
This guy that I talked to.
And that was 25 carrying that one was Cameron Gray that got it as we move under 6 minutes and 5:59 to go in this one.
Yeah, he told me that the unwritten rule was for the color guy to make it difficult for the play-by-play guy.
It's always been the rule. LeBlanc looks at 3rd down and 7 again. Interior penetration. And that one is down, going to be 4th down.
I've never been the color guy before, and I had to talk to him and find out, what do I do? What is supposed to be? He said,
you
just
analyze.
be yourself.
You analyze. That's what you do.
Well, they said just be yourself.
Well,
so.
what they tell you to do is add some thoughtful insight, and you've missed the bar on that one. 4th down and 7. 5:20 remaining.
I'm surprised. As high as you've set the bar.
Right. Right.
There's been a couple of us miss it, I think.
42-6. It's been all John Paul, the Great Academy in this one. The Guardians have, we talked to Coach Hines early in the game, and he said they're a really good team, this Guardians are. And we see that offsides. Encroachment will be whistled against the Knights, and that's going to mark off 5 yards. That will get them down to the 47, a little past the 47, 4th down and less than 2, maybe a yard and a half. So John Paul, the Great Academy, will be taking that state championship back with them. This has been quite a display from that group.
Oh, dear.
Again, falling into the neutral zone, and that will be another 5 yards and a 1st down.
And you could tell he was trying to hold on. You could tell he saw it and was like, poof.
Offsides, 5-yard penalty.
And he's going to get subbed out.
We'll get the 1st down.
Yeah, you get some of those younger guys getting in there and that snap count. And that just goes back to every piece of this game that John Paul, the Great Academy, has had.
Yep. I mean, those are fundamental things to work on, and your younger guys are anxious to get in there and make a play. And
spinning around is LeBlanc. He's going to drop the ball, and that is going to be a turnover. It will be recovered by the Knights, and they've got it 1st down and 10. Stick around for the trophy presentation on here. Following this one, we will cover this one and try to get a word with head coach Barrett Richard following this ball game. Don't know that we'll be able to, but we will certainly make an attempt to get that. Just a matter of running this one out now, the last 3 minutes of this one. Hannon's still in there at quarterback.
This makes it a lot easier to control the clock from my point of view.
Just let it go. That's right. Here goes Hannon back running the option. His pitch man Pickle cuts inside of him, so penalty flag will be thrown here off away from the play. Looks like perhaps a blind side block. They will stop the clock there to sort out the penalty we believe are working on. Yeah, that is blind side block against the.
I thought they were stopping the clock, but I guess not.
On the Knights. And the flag came out from this near side, and you hear we have the benefit of hearing some of the conversations go up between the guys, and it's very educational on our part of it, what's going on. Under 2 minutes remaining in this one. John Paul the Great is going to be your 2022 8-man football champions, and based on the youth that's on this team, you expect them to be right back here at Louisiana Christian University playing to defend their title next year, because they are just as solid as they come. Snap is back. Hannon's got it. Looking to go over the top again. This one is overthrown by about 2 or 3 yards there.
Yep. A little off target.
The highlight of this one, that big 61-yard pass completion from Hannon to Pickle. Pickle has been a solid runner, or player tonight. You saw him track down on some big plays, defensively never giving up. So very impressed. Was impressed with him last year and equally as impressed this year.
We are under a minute.
Some of the younger guys getting out there defensively. I see number 80, Thomas Conk, getting in there. He is a freshman. 41 seconds. And here comes the pressure. Going to go down. That is a sack. We'll get the young man that's got that. That is 7 once again, Jacob Dean. And as solid as Sawyer Dean is offensively, Jacob Dean is defensively. And that maybe one more snap. We don't know if they're going to have that. They look like they called a timeout. And Coach Hines just having one last word with his guys that are out on the field.
Get one more snap for him. Hey, this is that trick play that we've tried a few times. Remember? Let's see if it works here.
They will be announcing the 8-man football all-state team. They'll have the most valuable player. They'll give out some awards from there.
And we'll mic up the PA Mayor one.
And let him do all of that.
That's
absolutely.
Right. Sadly, with our minimized setup, there's not much I can take down.
Right.
But that's okay. That's okay. It has been a fun one.
Indeed, it's been a lot of fun in this one, bringing you ACEL championship action. We just delighted to be here once again with this great organization. Hannon in at quarterback. He has went the distance, brings a man in motion. Low snap and bobbled around. There's that Pickle's going to throw this one back. He's going back to Hannon, who's got it. Spun around, dropped down, getting out of a tackle down to the 50-yard line. And timeout has been called. Timeout called. Quickly getting it called on the far side, the official.
Get us down to that 11-second mark.
And you like this out of Coach Hines, who is Coach Morgan Hines, who's saying, look, we're preparing for the future. We're showing that we can fight, and that's what we're going to do until the very last whistle.
Yeah, nothing disrespectful at all.
Oh,
when
you can never be said it is when the team's behind. They're out there working, just trying to carry a little bit of momentum out of here with them.
Yeah. And, hey, if nothing else, giving the other team's defense a chance at something they've probably never seen before.
11 ticks of the clock remain. Only thing yet to be decided is who the All-State team and the MVPs are going to be. This one has been the Guardians of John Paul the Great.
I know who it's going to be. You want me to tell you?
No, I told you who my MVP of the game should be. I don't think they give one for the game, but they will give it for –
I can tell you.
They will give it for the season.
It's the one that got the most votes.
Hannon back to pass. Looking over the top. He's got his man Pickle cutting back for it. Gets that one. Looked like Jeray Jenkins coming back for that ball like he did.
Another timeout.
With the catch inside the 30.
30 down to the 27, and this is good to see. That is the final timeout. Should very well be the final play of the game, barring a defensive penalty.
Yes. Could they actually get ahead with enough defensive penalties?
Can they what?
Could they actually come back and win this with enough defensive penalties?
No.
One would have to ask. And I am one.
You am one. See, the kickoff would be your one on time down.
Okay.
And that would, no matter what was the result of it there. 3.2 to go in this one. Hannon brings his man in motion. That's Pickle, and you can believe he's going to Pickle. That's the post over the head, and that's the ball game. John Paul the Great Academy, your 2022 8-man football state champions, and they're dogpiling out on the 18-yard line. Chuck, while all of that's going on, we're going to try to go down and get a quick word with we're going to go try to get a phone call, brief interview up here with Coach Richard.
Okay.
I'll make my way down. If not, we'll close it out after the awards, but we'll see if we can work our way down there.
Sounds good.
We'll also have our presentation of the runner-up as well as the state championship trophy. We'll do all of that on the field after we have our traditional handshake as well as the players and coaches gathering together. As our coaches will take turns addressing the players and offering words of praise and encouragement. Players also sometimes do the same, and they'll conclude in prayer. And then we will get on to our awards presentation. So bear with us here for just a few moments.
Hey, guys.
You ready?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can see Doug Gann down on the field with the winning coach with a quick interview. Doug, go right ahead.
Get him on the sidelines, Lane.
Hey, Coach, did it with a tremendous running game and a smothering defense. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we worked hard all week. They took away our veers, and they did a good job of doing that. And we kind of prepared some different stuff, maybe some lead blockers, some things in there that we don't typically do. They did a real good job. You know, we're a veer team. We couldn't run veers. They took that away from us. So all kudos to them. They're a good football team.
Well, Coach, the hard work paid off. Congratulations on your state championship, and we look forward to visiting with you again in the future.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Well, there you have it, Chuck. John Paul the Great Academy, the state champions of ACEL, and we'll send it back up to you guys.
Thank you, Doug. And here we are. We're going to turn it back over here to the PA announcer, Rich Dupree, as he does the announcements for the awards.
Championship game here at Louisiana College Wildcat Field. And we want to also let you know we're going to be announcing our all-state team, our all-state offensive team, as well as our all-state defensive team. So we'll be doing that as well.
All right, I hate to interrupt their post-game huddle over there, but
all right, we'll begin with our state runner-up presentation for this 2022-23 ACEL 8-man football season. Your state runner-up is the Southwest Louisiana Homeschool Athletics Knights as they come to center field, midfield rather, to pick up that recognition. Again, congratulations to Coach Morgan Hines and the young men on this team, your seniors as well. As they pose for a group photograph taken by Executive Director Sandra Merrill. Again, a hand please for the Knights of Southwest Louisiana. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your 2022-23 8-man football state champions, John Paul the Great Academy Guardians. That's a happy group of young men right there. Time now, ladies and gentlemen, to announce our all-state football team. We'll be calling 8 offensive players. And I would ask that each player, once your name is called, you come onto the field and remain on the field while we take a group picture of the offensive team and then a group picture of the defensive team. We will begin with the offensive line. From Acadiana Christian School, Cameron Savoy. If you're here, come on to the field, please, and pick up your award. And remain on the field for a picture. From John Paul, the Great Academy, Peter Kramer. From JPG, Caden Deku. Running back. From JPG, Anthony Salvateria. From Mount Olive, Jerome Spencer. Wide receiver. From Southwest, Luke Pickle. From Mount Olive, Cole Marsalis. And your quarterback, Andrew Hannon from Southwest. And we'll pose for our picture here for the All-State offensive team. And congratulations to each one of those young men. Now we turn our attention to the defense. And we'll begin on the defensive line. From Southwest, Elijah Keith. From JPG, Bobby Odene Jr. From Mount Olive, LaCameron Kimball. Your linebackers. From Southwest, Noah Augustine. From Acadiana, Ty Olivier. At defensive back, from Southwest, Luke Pickle. And from JPG, Rylan Garrick. And your defensive athlete from Southwest, Andrew Hannon. Executive Director Sandra Merrill will take our group photograph. Thank you, gentlemen. Now for our 2 individual awards. Your 8-man football league MVP, Ty Olivier of Acadiana. Wanted to announce it before you hobbled off too far there, young man. Congratulations. You'll probably throw those crutches down again just like you did a moment ago. Congratulations to him. There we go. Your MVP from Acadiana Christian School. And your Coach of the Year from Mount Olive, Cody Gio. And Coach Gio cannot be here with us, so that does conclude our awards. Safe travels on your way home. Please help us out by cleaning up around yourselves, if you would, please. And we certainly look forward to being back here at LCU next year for 8-man football state championship. Good night, everyone.